What's up, Joe?
Hey, what's up?
It's everything, man. This is the week. It's a big time, man. I got to get off to Tinley tomorrow morning. Today is like measured out by the minute of everything I've got to get done and then get on the road tomorrow.
Yeah. So, what do you have to do? What's the setup? What do you need to get together? What are you doing today?
Well, I got this little show I got to knock out. This Thursday morning thing with Joe. So I gotta take care of that. This is all Central Time, so we'll just roll it this way. At 9 a.m., I have a meeting with one of my clients in North Carolina. At 11 o'clock, I have another meeting with a client. In between there, I will finish flipping all these tubs and cleaning. So I get a deep clean before we go. So Perry comes to clean. Perry from Soda Balls. He comes and cleans with me today. So we'll be getting all that done. Once the tubs are done, then I'll start loading all the animals for Tinley. I've got to deliver rodents to 2 customers. And then I still have to go by the car wash because I got to get all the money out, load all the quarters up for the weekend because I won't be there all weekend. So I got to get the car wash situated. And then when I get home, that'll be at about 6:30 when I get home this evening. Then it's dinner, anything left. Oh, I got to do laundry in there and pack. Everything goes into the truck tonight except for the animals. And then tomorrow morning, I'll get up at about 4:30. I'll load all the animals and I'll hit the road and I'll be in Chicago at Tinley Park by noon and I'll load in and get set up.
4 o'clock tomorrow is when you're slated to leave, or you get up at
4:30 in the morning.
4:30 in the morning. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll be in Tinley by noon tomorrow.
So what's that, like 7 hours?
It's about 6, but you never know with traffic and all that. It's funny. I'll hit like the
and you gotta get out, let the snakes out, a little bit.
It's so weird at the truck stops, walking them. Yeah, like you got 66 little pythons that you're taking out there at the pit stop. Yeah, it's a great way to meet people, though. I gotta say, you meet the
You have yes. Do you have now the truck that you use? Is it standard truck, or do you have a van, or what? How do you do that?
It's my Toyota Tacoma, and I did. It's a regular old Tacoma, but the way that it's configured is really, really convenient. So it's got the extended cab.
Okay.
And the back seat, I just fold down, and that's where all the animals load up. So that's like a temperature controlled cab. So they're in with me. We're cruising at 78 degrees, maybe miles an hour too, but whatever the temperature is in the cab. So they're good. And then in the back, I have the the bed topper deal, and so all the equipment goes back there, and it's basically waterproof. It's not airtight, but it's waterproof. So all the equipment goes back there. So a lot of times when people talk to me about my displays and what I'm working on or what I choose to display, part of the thing is that it all has to fit in the Tacoma. I'm a one-man show, and I'm not going to buy a $8,000 trailer. Like I'm just not. Maybe I'll get there one day, but I'm not going to do that. And it's the same kind of setup and mindset I used when I was touring with music. I need it to all be able to fit in that. That's why I like touring with duos. 2 of us could fit in that Toyota, one vehicle, all of our equipment could go in. We could load in, load out. And it was just more efficient. So that's the rule. As long as I'm vending alone, that's the rule.
Now, are you doing anything special for Tinley? It's a big show. It's one of the biggest shows in the country. Are you doing anything? You breaking out anything new and exciting for the folks in Tinley?
So I got some cool merch. It has not arrived yet. I haven't seen it, but it is slated to arrive today. I just checked the tracking. It's here in Minnesota. It's in a little town called Red Wing, Minnesota. It's about 40 minutes from here. I think that they're going to make it today. So we got, come on, I clicked the button.
Oh,
There it is. We got some cool new hats. We got the charcoal. We got the pink. And this isn't just creating FOMO. Literally, they're very limited. I have 15 of the charcoal and 10 of the pink. When they're gone, we'll see if we do more or not, but they will be gone. And I don't know, there might be some other goodies in the box. I was told that there were some test runs and maybe some one-offs that are thrown in there as well. So we could have some ultra limited editions.
They look fantastic. That looks awesome. And right up my alley, by the way.
Okay. All right. I probably could get one for you, Joe. Probably. You might have to come to Minnesota to retrieve it, though.
Okay, I will.
Let me see. Jeremy, just message me, shoot me a message in Instagram. I got you. I'll forget. I'm going to make a list today. I've got some requests. So if you guys want them, but if you don't follow through, I'll publicly flog you on the show about how you said, give me a list or put me on the list, and then you backed out. They are, if you guys are interested though, they're 30 a piece on those hats. That's great. It looks like a nice product too. Yeah, I think it will be for a guy who wears a lot of hats. Yeah, it looks like a good hat. That was from our good. You guys, I'm using my mouse like it's a pointer, but I don't think anybody could see the mouse. On the left side of the brim, you call it the brim or the bill, whatever that front part is. It's co-branded. That's a Husbandry.pro collab, and okay. Robert at Husbandry.pro and his wife Tara, they also have a merchandise embroidering clothing company, and they pitched this to me and they said, hey, we like this new line of those are vegan leather patches. I don't even know what that means, but they look pretty cool. So they got a new line of vegan leather logo abilities, and they're like, can we work with you on this? I'm like, you can always work with me on this. So there we are. That's great. And this morning too, I'm noticing in the chat we have people who listen but never caught a live show before. We get I like that. Yeah, I'm still here. SH Pythons. Pyush. Wow, I caught a live. Thanks for joining this morning. And then we also have let's see, Aspiring Ball Pythons. Daniel. All the way from Germany. Thanks, man. Thanks for. Oh, look at that! Greetings from Germany. Where about, Daniel? Yeah, let us know. We're worldwide today. Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. And what's up? Well, I was going to say another thing I'm working on. I got a lot of feedback on it, so I might have to adjust the plan though. But I was looking at these things. Look at these little square deli cups for displays. Yeah. I'm thinking of messing around. I think they'll be a little more eye-catching than your typical, coleslaw container looking deli cups. Yeah. And so one of the things I was thinking about this week is that, like, Ferrari is a great company. Hyundai is a great company. Two very different products, two very different, you don't walk into a Hyundai dealership looking for a Ferrari and vice versa. So a lot of times certain priced animals are traditionally displayed in deli cups, and other prices ones are displayed in these little bigger, little more grandiose displays. And I was wondering if I'm misplacing some of these for the expectations of the customer. If you're looking for a pet grade snake, you might not come up to a big acrylic expensive display. So sometimes we use deli cups, but I wanted a way to stand out. And Redline Shipping has these square ones. Now, I made a reel this week and put it out. It got like 5,500 views. It was great. People were they were telling me it's too small, which was a little bit weird to me because I had the ball python in it in the reel, and it wasn't like crammed in. Like it was no more crammed than a typical display would be. However, I talked to Robin at Redline, and he said, "Oh no, we have a size up from that that's about 6 inches wide. It's 5.5." And he's going to have those at Tinley for me. So I'm going to switch up my display, try a little something different with square deli cups. You know why you would make a square deli cup in the first place, Joe? Why? More space. Yeah, they're far more efficient. You don't waste shipping space. If you think about shipping round things, they don't fit together. There's an amazing amount of wasted space. Yeah. So
that's pretty good. Pretty good.
And not coincidentally, all of Redline's square deli cups fit perfectly with their respective shipping boxes. So you can ship like, 4 ball pythons and a 9x6x12 or whatever it might be. So
Oh, that's really smart. That's really smart.
Yeah. So it all fits together. So anyway, I'm going to mess with some of those, and everybody that thought that these were too small, take a deep breath. I got the bigger ones. I will use those. So a couple new things going on at Tinley.
It's funny, you think through all of the different things that just those little things that might make you stand out or might catch somebody's eye or something like that. I think that's you got to think through everything.
Oh, it's like paper thin. The what do they say in sports? Like the games are won on the margins. Like it's paper thin how you can differentiate from other people. And I was just amazed at, I made that reel and I was amazed at the amount of feedback that I got from, like, people were riled up of, like, for everything from that's way too small to why would you even use those if you have the other display? And like part of what I wanted to respond was, look how engaged you all are. If you would get this engaged in front of my table, it would be perfect, So it was, and I had no idea. I just threw it out there and popped it up now, to check it out.
The other cups, they're the circular cups that you would get from if you get like a, I don't know, macaroni salad at a deli or something like that. It's like that.
They're actually they're probably 6 inches across, but only maybe only 2 inches deep. And to their credit, they're perfectly clear. These are pretty clear, but the deli cups they're a different material. They're like anyway. So these are a little bit less ideal because they're not as clear, but these are pretty clear. I mean,
yeah, and do they snap together like the top? It's not like it can come off easy.
No, they do.
You got to look at, right?
Well, yeah, but I don't trust it. I bought 300 rubber bands yesterday. I was happy to see I could get 300 rubber bands for $3 at Target. So a penny a piece. I said, you know what? Let's get some rubber bands, and so I'll seal them up in there too.
Okay. So do we have is something? Oh, wait. One more thing about Tinley. Is there like fun stuff at night for the vendors?
It's actually, let's hold that to the meat and potatoes section today.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it's and the answer is yes, but yeah, let's make that a part of the show a little bit later.
Okay.
You got cool. What about you? You got a one thing this week? What's cooking? What's exciting in your world, Joe?
Oh man, well, I think the thing that's in my head is it happened on Tuesday night. So I have my class on Tuesday nights, and then I came home, and my stepdaughter Raleigh also goes to the same university that I'm taking a class at. So she had something that night too. We don't go together because the times are off or whatever, but I'm in bed and we get a call that she has a flat tire. And so I'm like, oh, okay. I'll come down and help you. So I get in the car and then I get a text saying, oh, somebody has helped me change my car. One of her professors actually walked by and was like,
oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
So she's still on campus?
She was still on campus.
Okay. And it was relatively safe scenario then.
Yeah. And it was about 9:30, something like that, so maybe 10, so then she starts to drive for a little bit and she pulls off and her flat is flat as well, or her spare tire is flat as well.
Toast.
So yeah. So she pulls off and she's like, I don't know. And I go, I don't know. If you don't have a spare, I'll come down and my father-in-law has AAA. So we go, okay, we'll go AAA or whatever. But at that point, it's like, I don't know, 11,
Yeah, you're going to be up all night. Yeah.
Yeah. And so we contact AAA and AAA is like, yeah, it's going to be another 45 minutes, going to be there about 12:30. And so we go, oh, okay, 12:30. All right. And then it becomes, 1, and then it becomes 1:30. And then finally,
I'm sorry, what night was this, Joe?
This was Tuesday.
Okay.
So, and I know, like, I'm, my days, I know I keep saying this, and I've said I hate when people say that they're busy, but my days are just packed.
Right.
And so this is at this time of year. So I'm like, oh, I gotta get home and get some sleep or whatever. Right. Finally, we're notified that it's gonna be like 3:30 before 3:45 before they go. And I'm getting older, like maybe and Raleigh's getting annoyed. Of course, my father-in-law is like,
oh, he's there with you?
Yeah, he has to be there because he has he doesn't want to drive at night. So yeah. I said, okay, well, I'll go down with you, So, and he has to be there for the AAA. The person who has the AAA has
right. Okay.
And I've never had AAA. I could always figure something out, So I just don't have it. But I have the bright idea, and I should have had this idea earlier. I'll just take the spare in my car and put it on her car. I didn't know if there was like compatibility issues or not.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, it might not fit. Like it might not be safe. You just winged it. You just swapped them.
I just swapped. I took out my spare. I put it on her car. There was 5 bolts. It worked, and we finally got home
Who drove her car home? Did you put her?
I did.
Okay, I was just saying you didn't put her in that death machine you created, did you?
I did. Now I'm glad that you're saying that might have been an issue, because I felt stupid for not thinking of it earlier, because the night had been ruined. But I also thought that there might be some compatibility issues there between the spare and her car. But
yeah, I would have been concerned. But yeah, okay, yeah. I'm glad it worked. So did you ever see the AAA guy?
No, actually. And we called, and there was they had gotten a company, and the company was like an hour away. Like the truck was an hour away, and they send you like these things where like you can see, like it's a map, and you can see it's like a GPS tracker or whatever.
He's just going in circles.
Yeah, and they were in the same spot for like an hour or whatever. So that was the adventure on Tuesday and early Wednesday morning. And so I had a couple hours of sleep, had to get up and, do what I'm doing during the day. And then at night I zonked out, and finally, I don't know. People have told me that you don't catch up on sleep, really. You just lose it. You don't really catch up on sleep. But man, I was toast last night.
Yeah, but you could reset. Yeah. Like I was exhausted last night, but I got good sleep last night. So I'm all set today.
So that's why, and I want to apologize to you. I was
very little show prep yesterday. I got to say, Joe, I was going to type up a little memo today, just for documentation, just a early conversation.
And my time this morning was really cutting it close too.
Well, you made it.
I think we were maybe 30 seconds over. So
perhaps. I won't bore everybody with the long drawn out story, but by my calculation, somewhere 27, 28 years, I've been a AAA customer. And last time I visited Jacksonville, I had a rental car. That's Jacksonville, Florida, for the audience doesn't know. And it turned out, as it will happen in late summer, early fall, hurricane or tropical storm comes through. We fly into a tropical storm. No problem. All good. Get the rental car, get to my father's house. I don't know why. Proceed to throw the keys in the car, shut the door, boom. Oh no, threw them in the trunk, matter of fact. Locked it, pulled the suitcases out. Charlie closed the trunk behind me, and my keys are gone. My keys are locked up.
Oh, gosh. I
call AAA, and I say I need the trunk to get open. No problem. I'll hang out at Dad's place, and we're having a good old time. And the lady at AAA is like, it's going to be about an hour and a half. There's a lot going on with this storm. Okay, no problem. Hanging out at my dad's place. 2 hours goes by. I haven't heard a thing. Call back. Sir, we have no record of your call. I mean, you have no record of my call. Here's the number. You give me a confirmation, all that. You're like, that didn't get put in. Okay, get somebody here now. Sir, we can't do that. It's a bit of an emergency out there with this storm. So that's what I pay you guys for emergencies. That's exactly why I have AAA. This is your chance to shine right now. She's like, sir, there's nothing to do. It could be another 3 hours. I'm like, I'm sitting here 5 hours, and I've been a customer for 28 years, and you're telling me it's an emergency. And they're like, well, what do you expect us to do, sir? And I said, you're the ones that write the checks to all of these subcontractor tow companies. Write a bigger check and move me up in the line. That's what you need to do.
Right.
I was patient the first time with the storm for 2 hours, and now you're like, I'm starting over. And there's nothing we can do. And I said, you know what? Do nothing then. That's fine. I won't be back. So that's my
So how'd you get your keys out?
Well, we had a little an old school neighborhood get together. Somebody got a coat hanger, another person, like, I got to admit, on rental cars, you take a little more of a risk than you might on your own,
Yeah, sure.
So somebody else was like, well, you could pry the door just a little bit. Like, don't do the coat hanger down the gasket. They were saying just pull the top corner of the door open to where you can get your tool in there and pop the door. And we eventually did. And then we popped the trunk, and I got the keys, and, about 6.5 hours later, we had it figured out, and I've never spoken to AAA since.
That's good. Yeah, I don't think my father-in-law is gonna be a customer.
I don't need it. Yeah, I don't need it when it's convenient. I don't need to schedule it 4 days from now for when I have a flat tire. I need it. Right. I need it when I need it. All right, Joe, I got some questions for you.
Okay.
This week at Newark Airport, a passenger was stopped by TSA. He goes through the screening process, and they determine that he's got something that he's concealing. And it appears to be in the male private area. We'll call it the groin.
Oh,
and,
okay.
They explained to him, we're gonna do a little search, and he says, no need, you got me. And he proceeds to pull a red ear slider turtle out of the front of his pants.
What?
Yeah, this is true. So
is this like a story in the reptile world that everybody knows, or is this just?
I don't think so. I just saw it on my Google News feed. Yeah, I'm breaking news for everybody here. There's a few Jersey folks and a few Pennsylvania folks in the audience. I got questions here. So anyway, the animal appeared unhurt. It's not endangered. It's pretty regular, available. Just seems to be more of a weird story rather than a legal issue. However, I did a little digging, wanted to really, get into the mind of this man, and I find that he's from East Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania, which is the homeland of our man in Tampa, Joe. And I would like you to do a little digging and see if you can find out who this perpetrator is. Maybe he'd like to explain himself one morning here. I don't know how big the greater Stroudsburg area is, but that's where he's from. Yeah.
It's substantial, actually. The Poconos and they're much bigger than they used to be. So,
are we talking the turtle or what are we talking about here?
Talking about the man. No, I'm talking about the population of the area.
Okay, gotcha.
Yes. But what does it? How large is a turtle? Is that kind of turtle? because I mean, what's he trying to pull off here?
I don't. Yeah, I mean, is he going for a Jim Morrison here? I don't. Yeah, traditionally you might use a potato. He decided to opt for a turtle,
a live one too.
Yes, a live one is correct as well.
It's very scary. It's risky.
I would think so. Yeah. So like
in a lot of ways.
These are turtles that are pretty common at pet stores, so you could get them when they're little, 2-inch diameter. I assume it was the turtle, but I did see a picture. TSA got a little cardboard box. They put a towel in there. Apparently turtles like towels, and they had a little water dish. So they were looking out for the turtle. I would have guessed that one was probably 4 to 5 inches. That's a pretty substantial turtle to try and sneak through in your pants.
Yeah.
I think.
What's the do you know the age of this person? Do you know the name of this person?
I don't, it just said the unidentified man, but then they said,
unidentified man. Damn it.
Yeah, according to TSA press release, an East Stroudsburg man who was not identified by name tried to sneak a live turtle past security at Newark Liberty International Airport on Friday. He tripped an alarm. He was given a pat down. Then the man pulled the turtle out of his pants when asked if there was something hidden in them. He told the officials, oh, here we go. It was a red ear slider turtle, and officials estimated, they didn't measure it, estimated the turtle to be 5 inches long.
Okay, gotcha. And I guess the turtle would be then confiscated and set free, given back to the man. How does that work?
I can't imagine it was either of those. Generally, once an animal's been domesticated, which I don't know if being shoved down pants qualifies for that, but if he were, you wouldn't release it after it's been domesticated. But I also don't think it was given back to the man. So I'm not sure. There could be a turtle up for auction in the area.
Yeah,
because not auction, up for adoption.
That would be kind of like it would be abusive.
Yeah, now it's arguable whether it was self-abusive. I mean, you don't want to mess around with a turtle. I mean, you would feed these things little shrimps and goldfish, So I mean, you wouldn't want to have a little identity mistaken for shrimp or goldfish. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, that's the radio slider readily available in PA.
Yeah, Kai is exactly right. I mean, that is you could, wherever he was going, you could just pick up a new red ear slider pretty easy, really.
Well, I mean, I don't know if this was really about smuggling anything anywhere. I think there was other purposes behind what was going on here.
Do you think it was like a little pleasure? What do you think was going on?
Maybe there's some kind of kink that's involved. I don't know. Maybe
that would be a kink. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, if when you're scoping out the speakeasies and you're listening in on the talk at the talk of the town, the morning coffee hours, keep your ears out for the turtle smuggler.
All right. We'll see. Maybe he'll be identified eventually. And maybe I went to school with him, and
it might be outed. Yeah, it could be like, what if it was like family? You got family up? Like, you need to call him. Guys, anybody got a turtle problem?
Yes.
Do we need to discuss?
When did this take place?
Friday night, March 7th.
Oh, okay. Well, I know that my brother was out of town, so he was already gone.
Did he fly out of Newark?
May have.
He might have handed off the turtle.
Hey, he took a group of students to Costa Rica. It's like an annual trip that they make. So maybe he passed it off to one of his students.
Yeah.
Hey.
Well, and Jeremy, Snakes for the Hollow Memories, that might be Holly too. They bring up a good point. I'm not a fan of this whole emotional support animal movement. But the fact is, it exists. Get your little piece of paper off the internet and bring your turtle.
Right.
You get a little bag for it. I've seen you get a little turtle kennel, you can just stroll along. And
there's a lot of questions that are involved in this story.
Completely unnecessary, aside from all the obvious reasons not to put a turtle in your pants. Like, it just wasn't wasn't well thought through, man. And then he gets caught. Like, it wasn't executed well either. This is bad.
Oh boy. I mean, there are some funny folks from the Poconos, that's for sure.
Funny folks from the Poconos. Sounds like a Jimmy Buffett song for the
funny folks from the Poconos.
That's right. Yeah.
All right. So we got some shout outs we need to make here. What do you think? Should we
yeah, I think we should. Who you want to start with?
Let's get. I mean, you've already mentioned them. Let's start with Husbandry Pro.
That's why you get the big bucks, Joe. Right there, the radio voice and the enunciation, man, is
Husbandry. I can't say it. Husbandry Pro. It's a tough one.
It did take me a little while. Yeah, I did.
Husbandry Pro.
Husbandry Pro. Yeah, it does take a minute to get it together. Yeah, guys, I use Husbandry Pro for all of my breeding generational tracking. It also powers properroyals.com, which has been fully updated. If you want to see what inventory is completely available right now in preparation for Tinley, you could go there. Also, if you use Husbandry Pro or want to check it out, use the promo code PRoyals60 and you can get yourself 60 days free trial. Doesn't cost you anything to start. You don't even have to put in your credit card to start. Just get going, check it out, get your animals entered and your data entered. You'll be tracking data left, right, and center. And there is a marketplace as well. If you're considering different options of places to sell, I think Stakes for the Memories has a pretty good store on Husbandry Pro as well. So check them out. And I will have the co-branded Husbandry Pro and Proper Royals hats at Tinley starting tomorrow.
Yeah. Husbandry Pro.
There you go. Nice job, Joe. Also at Tinley, right across the aisle from me, is Cold Blooded Cafe. The good friends there. The team will be dealing, slinging frozen rodents. They do have reptiles monitors there at their booth as well. Cold Blooded Cafe, best frozen, freshest, cleanest frozen rodents. If you check out a reel I posted last night, you could see me unpacking and loading my shipment that arrived yesterday into my freezer, and I always rotate my stock first in, first out. You remember that, Joe, from any restaurant days? FIFO?
FIFO, first in, first out.
Yeah, the restaurant days run deep. Use promo code PROPER11, get yourself 11% off of your order of Cold Blooded Cafe rodents. If you've used the promo code before, try it again. It's been recently reset. You guys do a great job and provide great revenue there. So Desiree and the team said, you know what, let's do it again, start it over. So if you haven't used it recently, give it a shot. Last but not least is our newest friends. Well, they're the oldest friends, but the newest advertising partner, SunDogSerpents. That's Sarah and Josh Allen. They are from Orlando, Florida. Specific projects that they're working on are TSK and clown combos right now. If you go in their Morph Market, if you're working with TSK Exantic, you want to know them. If you go in their Morph Market right now, there is a visual TSK Exantic hat clown available. But stay tuned. They have a pretty massive collection, and I've known Sarah and Josh for probably about 4 years now. They're one of the first people that I was doing business with. Sarah used to vend with me in my Florida days. So I've known them for a long time. So happy to have them advertising here. But do me a favor, go check out SunDogSerpents. Their link is in the description down below, as are all the links for all the sponsors. Thanks to the audience, because otherwise it's just Joe and I yapping at each other at an ungodly early morning. Why would we do that? Of course, yes. So we want the audience. Joe, Elias, Joe did have a stroke saying husbandry. That was got a little rough.
Husbandry
Pro. What are just in general, Joe? Like, I got thinking about like what are like the things that like we always hear like, oh man, this is the stuff that makes it all worthwhile. And we talk a lot about like, what's the drive? What's the motivation? What's the mission? That's like all the stuff at the beginning that like gets us out of bed. I'm talking about like, let's get real like selfish and greedy for a minute. Like, what's the stuff at the end that makes it worthwhile? You know, and it was kind of neat to think of it that way, because we're always supposed to think about like the determination and the intrinsic values and the mission and blah, blah, blah. Like, give me the good stuff at the end. Like I sometimes we don't celebrate that enough. And I really like, if I could paraphrase and you could correct me. I believe you said it was your father said, always, happiness, you should always give yourself like repeated small treats. You don't need this big, massive thing, but all the little things that keep you going and keep you happy. And I got thinking about it and I'm like, well, how have we never talked about this? Like we talk about, like I say, all the good philosophical stuff that we're supposed to do. How about just the stuff, like just good old fashioned materialism that we get to have or get to do, like the gluttony of the end of it. Man.
Yeah. Okay. Now that's interesting because, we've already mentioned our show prep yesterday. It was like, hey, how about this idea? And I said, yeah.
Easy on the hour. You could say yours. Mine was solid. I did my show prep yesterday. For the record.
So, but in understanding this topic, yes, the stuff that that you look forward to, or the stuff that is the payoff for all of the work. That's what you're talking about, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not always like physical stuff. So like in music, the payoff was always the hangout and the fun, man. It was just crushing it on stage, having the drinks afterwards. I even love breaks, man. Even like, even now, like as a non-smoker, like heading out to the smoke break when, on the set break, the band goes out and we just hang out and we have, 15 minutes of a little break in the alley or side door or whatever. I love that stuff. That's what makes it fun for me.
That's So that would be your first example of the spoils of your work.
Yeah, really just the shenanigans. It's just fun. Like it's not on a spreadsheet anywhere. You don't really like report. You don't pay tax on it. You just get it, and it's fun, and it makes it worth it. Because there is work involved, but there's also the fun.
My favorite thing is to actually make some money. So every couple of weeks, I go, okay, that's paying off.
Right. That's what one of the things I got thinking about this morning, like, in my restaurant days career, what I missed was the home life and the reasonable amount of sleep and being a father and a husband. And I have all that stuff now, but to your point, the finances were really easy in those days, man. Like I was good at what I did and I got paid well. And there was always a healthy check every 2 weeks and that nice 401k contribution. And, it was easier to dream and plan some vacations and whatnot. And that's a little more challenging right now, but that's okay. But I have the other stuff that makes it worthwhile. So, the times that every day at 3:15, my son strolls through the door and I get to find out how his day at school was, or check his grades, or bust his chops if something's not acceptable, or celebrate it if it is. So but we're not really talking about that. We're talking about, or are we? I'm talking a little bit about that. But what really got me going was like Tinley's one of those things that show weekend is one of those things that makes it worthwhile. So you asked earlier and I punted a little bit. You said, are there fun things for the vendors to do? That's all of Tinley. Like the vending is the least of my concerns at Tinley, like doing all the other stuff. So like tomorrow night, 5:30, there's a Proper Royals Patreon dinner. We're going to the steakhouse. There's 10 of us. We're going to have dinner at the Primal Cut at the steakhouse. At 7:30, I have to jet and get over to a business meeting with Palm Street, the platform that I've been selling on live. I get to meet with them. And then at 8:30, there's it's backwards. There's the happy hour at the lobby bar for everybody that didn't want to go to the steakhouse, because that's not for everybody. It's not, I get it. Maybe they wanted to spend their money on some snakes this weekend rather than steak and wine. So we're going to meet at the lobby bar for everybody else. And the people that are going to Tinley will tell you, like, that's where you do incredible amounts of business. You make incredible connections. You learn, like, even if you just stand there and don't say a word, which I actually practice a lot, you can learn and hear so much. You find, so, I mean, you just learn, and ideally it's like technical industry related stuff, but you get some drinks in people, you learn a lot about them too.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that I'm drugging anybody, but they, they're consuming their own beverages at their own pace. Yeah.
So that's the big payoff for getting up 4:30 in the morning, getting all your gear together, getting it out there. And so is that in your mind when you're doing the work? Like, are you saying, I'm doing all of this stuff and it's going to be great, and does it propel you through the work?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And one of the topics we've talked about before is like, can you cultivate luck or can you cultivate opportunity? And Tinley is a great example of, I might break even if I'm lucky, but generally Tinley is an expense for me. But over time, it's very, very profitable. I don't know if you caught the detail. Right across the aisle from me is Cold Blooded Cafe. I spend twice a year, I spend a full weekend. We could talk about successes, opportunities. What do we like? Strategy. Yeah. Hey, what are you guys doing? Hey, I've got a mountain of questions. Hey, do these, a lot of your competitors use shipped in rodents from China? Are these current tariffs? Is that going to change your model? Is it going to change your pricing? What do you respond to that? All of theirs are domestic rodents. There's ways that I can learn about the partners and really advocate and magnify details, and getting to do that in person is so much better than text messages or even phone calls,
Yeah. Also for me, so let me say, work wise, like something that pays off is I'm somebody who really wants to get feedback and positive feedback from people that I'm serving.
Okay.
So it like sends me, I'm just so happy when somebody is happy, or I see kind of the fruits of my labor in a comment or something, like,
right.
I think of many of the students that I've dealt with that have, said something, I've heard them say something, or they put something on the evaluation or something. I mean, a lot of people that, don't pay attention to their evaluations. I don't know why,
right.
but I always go to the evaluations. I go, let me see this.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that kind of feedback is like, that makes me go, that makes it all worth it. There was a conversation between two of my students last semester that I'm still like hanging on to. I'm like, yes, that's the reason. I love it. And
well, you told us about the dude that like burned his book one time, and then by the end of the class he was like, hey, this is really good. I actually really appreciate you. Yeah.
Yes, that's something that I've held on for years now,
right.
too. That's something that keeps me going. And something is like, when I'm in the middle of class, maybe I'm like, I'm not feeling it or whatever, I think of that guy.
Right.
That guy gets into my head, and I go, okay, there's somebody in here that's like, is really learning and thinking differently. These two students last year, or last semester, I heard them after class. One said to the other, I learned so much in this class, which good. That's great. That's fine. That's awesome. That's great. The other student said, well, I don't know if I learned so much, but this class makes me think differently. And I'm like,
oh, yes. Even better. Yeah.
Yes. Like, that will stay in my head for years to come. And
right.
That to me is like the payoff. This is like, I'm like, this is what it's all about. It's funny as well that you mentioned this yesterday, because we got feedback from one of our clients from the accounting firm. And I don't know, like, I would never go, even if I had a great experience with an accounting firm, I would never type out an email and send it to them and go, "You did a fantastic job." Like, I'm just not that kind of
Really?
person.
Okay.
But
See,
we
I
got,
would, I think.
I'm looking at an email here that is a couple of paragraphs about how great we did for them, for them. And I'm like, that shot me through the roof.
Yeah.
I was like, yes, this is what it's all about. And usually I'm a guy who's like, there's a problem here, fix it,
Just get through it. Yeah.
And I never really hear that kind of stuff. So that kind of, all of that feedback is super important. If you guys, if you like something, and you like their services or you like their products, reach out and let them know.
Tell them,
it makes
right.
a huge difference. It makes a huge difference. Yeah.
Oh, look at Jeremy. He's already flexing that he'll be there in 40 minutes.
Oh,
he's
getting an extra day in there, huh?
Yeah, actually, a lot of people do. I think, I don't want to speak for him, but I think Jeremy and maybe some of the people that you travel with, I think they build in a day in Chicago too. They usually go find a zoo or something like cool to do in town when they're there.
Yeah, Lincoln Park is free zoo.
Free zoo? I didn't know that. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I used to go to Lincoln Park Zoo all the time.
I was going to make a crappy pun about a band and all that. Screw that. That'd just be a dad joke, right? That's
yes.
You don't want to do that. We can't do that. So
yes. Okay. Like right now, Snake X is doing what I said everybody should do. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
There it is. You know what's funny is in these conversations, now we aren't the perfect example of it, but in these conversations, rarely does the paycheck come up. It's usually these unquantifiable moments that we really love. And we say that's what makes it worthwhile. And so like, we always hear that, don't worry about money, chase your dreams, you'll find the happiness, you'll figure the money out. And I don't know about we all, in my mind, I'm like, yeah, that's BS. I have to make the money. But then when we actually talk about just like no, without framing any money, and we just talk emotionally, hey, what makes you happy? What are you doing all this for? It almost never comes up again. And it's kind of it's an interesting wrestling match in my brain on this stuff, because on the one hand, I love that mindset. On the other hand, I have a stack of utility bills that have to get paid, and those can't get paid with good feelings and fun times and high fives, So right, it's balancing those two things. But I will say, I don't think I think enough about it. Like to really just to take a moment and go, I think a lot about why I'm doing it. What's the motivation? I think about the beginning part. What's the motivation? What's the driving point? I don't think enough about, boom, I just did it. I got this sale, or holy cow, I used to work this hard for this payday, and now I'm replacing that doing this craziness. Just, I don't think about like, I need to go to Tinley this week, and I've got to talk to my client in North Carolina this morning, but I didn't put in a vacation request. I'm going to tell them I'm out of the office. I'm going to give them a courtesy heads up. I'm out of the office. You can call me on my cell phone, but otherwise I'll see you Tuesday. Now I don't get any PTO, but I also get to call those shots, and I appreciate that, so it's these trade-offs and balancing like, what I can walk away from, which was some of the salary and security, because I built my own security in home, so to speak, financial base. But I get all of those cool things, dinners at home, holidays, weekends, if I want them. Now I still work like a madman. I actually enjoy, Kelly calls it my Saturday chores. It's just another day at work. That's Saturday. I do feeding and rodents, and it's kind of my catch up day. I like filming that day. So, I mean, but it's fun. It's what I would be doing, or I'll go, rehearse, or I'll put a show together, or whatever it might be, man.
And you enjoy that because it's your business, or you enjoy it just for the fun of it?
I am lucky enough to say still both. I still
Yeah.
enjoy opening these tubs, working with these animals, figuring out, envisioning what the future is going to be like. I like figuring, I mean, it sounds really silly, but the rodents in particular is really farming. I like figuring out this farming angle of business that I've never been a part of before. So it's a mix of working with animals, inventory control, production, marketing, customer outreach. It's all of those wrapped up, man. And it is, it's fun. I enjoy that. And it's probably more fun because I'm not dying and going broke. I'm not getting rich, but at least I'm sustaining. I would probably have a different opinion if that wasn't the case.
So you mentioned you don't, when we have these kinds of conversations, we don't really mention the paycheck that much. But there are times, like the other examples are outside of my work. There are moments where I go, this is why I work. And that's sitting on the back porch with my family, or going to dinner with Chelsea, or planning some trip.
You jetted off to Paris last summer. Like, amazing. Yeah.
Like that kind of stuff. I go, no matter what. And actually, those are the things, like when I'm at work and I'm like, oh gosh, why am I doing this? I don't think about the feedback that I get, really. I don't think about what I'm actually doing. And maybe this is telling of where I am with my profession, but I think more about, like, all right, well, I'm gonna go on a trip this summer, and I got to make money for that trip. I want to go and have a nice time this weekend with Chelsea. So that's why I do this. That's why I get that paycheck. Not necessarily the money, and but the things I can do.
The resources to go do that stuff.
Resources to go do that stuff.
Yeah. And I agree with that. And I struggle with that a little bit because I'm probably still like, truth be told, probably another year and a half from like a true like vacation trip. Like I'll take days off. I'm not going to work like every day for a year and a half, although I might, but I'm not planning to do that. That's not what I'm saying. But I am saying from the finances needed to if for me to go somewhere for 10 days, I got to have somebody that takes care of these animals, cleans a car wash, takes deposits to the bank, knows enough about the car wash. If I learned yesterday, I learned yesterday the soap brush controller is an electric solenoid that regulates how much soap is allowed into the mix. And the guy's like, well, yeah, duh, you need a solenoid. I'm like, okay, thank you. Like
solenoid?
Yeah.
Did you know that word before yesterday or no?
I do know the word solenoid because I come from a long line of crappy cars, and your starter motor is operated by a solenoid. And sometimes in crappy old cars, the solenoid will seize up. But if you whack that solenoid with a hammer and then give it a crank, sometimes it'll start.
Oh, that's good to know.
Always good to know where your solenoid and your starter are. Yeah.
That's what we're here for. Education on Proper Cup of Joe.
That's right. Bringing it to the masses. But I say all that because I do get to look forward to it. And Minnesota's still new enough to me that I could do like little 2-day getaways, 3-day getaways. I can go to a lake. I could go do a little downtown concert with the Arner Watts folks for Kelly's birthday this summer. So like there are little things, and I get these cool weekends that are work, but they're pretty fun. Like it's the best of both worlds. I get to go. I get to work. I'll get to deduct all the expenses. Hopefully I will do really good business because it's going to cost me at least $1,500 this weekend. So I do need to do good business. I need to try and do good revenue, but I have to balance revenue with pricing that's fair to myself. It doesn't make any sense to take 60 cents on the dollar just to get revenue when I have a show coming up in another 2 weeks where I could hope to get 90 to 100 cents on the dollar.
Right. Yeah.
So it doesn't make sense to shoot myself in the foot. So balancing some of those expenses, but also hopefully cultivating some opportunity, learning new people, learning new things, meeting new people. All of that is going to go into it, and cultivating existing relationships. There's fantastic people I'm going to get to see this weekend. I can't wait.
Yeah. I'm excited for you. I think, and I'm looking forward to hearing how it goes. Definitely. I wonder as well, like for the people in the chat, why do you do what you do? What's the payoff? What's the payoff? Like, what do you look for? Not look for, but what are those things that you get that make you go, oh, this makes it all worthwhile? Like, I'm interested in it. Yeah, I'm interested in hearing a little bit more about that.
Do you have like hobbies, or do you have like things? Like, I know you like records. I know you like good music, maybe speakers. I'm not sure. Do you have like things like, do you like to get really materialistic? Do you have like something you just go buy? You're just like, this is it. This is for me.
No, I don't. I don't think so. I don't think, not anything that I can't consume. Like,
okay.
I don't collect things.
Yeah.
I think what I do is I like experiences.
Right.
So I'll pay more for experiences than I will for anything that I can collect. I mean, the record thing is just kind of, a fun little thing that started last year, but it's more about experiences for me.
Yeah.
I don't have like a hobby. And if there is anything that I do use my money for leisure, it's making the place where I live better.
You guys have done a great. I have to say, your home is a great like reflection of you guys, but it's also like uniquely your own. Like, you got just great little pockets of cool little.
Thanks, man. Yeah.
I always enjoy hanging out there.
We have every couple of months, Chelsea and I get together and we whiteboard, the things that we want to do, and most of it is stuff that we want to do to our house.
Yeah, well, it's your home, it's your castle. Yeah, man, you got to be happy there and make it your own.
Yeah. How about you? I mean, you have guitars.
I was gonna say guitars, man. Like, I do love experiences, and I like to get out. I've built this little world that it keeps me tethered here a little bit. So that's a bit of a challenge, but there is nothing as rewarding as a Gibson guitar, man. And I don't ever buy, I don't think since I was 15 have I bought matter of fact, I know I haven't. I have not bought a brand new guitar since I was 15. So I always buy used guitars, and I like finding them first. Second, I love like thinking about where this guitar has been, or what shows it's played, or whose hands it's been in. Like, I've got a 1976 Gibson Les Paul Deluxe Gold Top, like, and it's pretty beat up. And some people are like, why would you buy an old beat up guitar? Well, that means it was played. Like, somebody loved that guitar. Like, they didn't, I'm not talking about it was smashed, beat up. I'm talking about it's just worn. It's just used.
Yeah. Right.
The ones that are good are the ones that get used. The ones that aren't beautiful sounding get shoved in a closet like a trophy. Like, I want the guitar that's like tried and true and tested and all of that. So I really enjoy that stuff. So once or twice a year now, I generally get I'll get another guitar.
That's the thing. Like, you're adding meaning to something that you really love, though, too. You're finding the meaning in it. And I think that's really important as well. Like you brought up what my dad used to say. My dad's small treats were like, at the end of the day, I'm going to fix myself an ice cream with some chocolate syrup and peanuts. And like, that's what he treated himself to, which is great. And he put meaning on that. I mean, the other thing that I remember him saying a lot when I was a kid was, we'd go on like these fishing trips. We'd go to Beltsville Dam, and we'd get out, and he had like a little every once in a while he had like a fishing boat that and with like a little trolling motor,
little John boat kind of deal.
And he would be like, We got to get up early in the morning. And we were kids and we like wanted to sleep and stuff. And we were like, I guess we'll go fishing or whatever. And it was always fun. And he'd get us up and go out there. And then we'd get out there and my brother and I'd be like real tired. I remember being real tired. And he'd go, it doesn't get much better than this. And we were like, it doesn't?
And you're like, this is it?
But he loved it. He was attaching meaning to it. He was with his sons fishing, and he was like, "It doesn't get much better than this, you guys."
But that is true, and actually, that's something I should do more with Charlie is get him out and go fishing or hiking. Or we used to go forage for mushrooms. Man, I love those hikes in the woods.
I was just thinking about you and the mushrooms. When is that season?
May. The morels will be here in Minnesota in May. Yeah, I'm counting down the moments. I will say on the flip side, not everything is Gibson guitars and trips to Paris. I have a tradition here that I keep approximately 90% of the time. Friday night is ribeye night. That's my continuous treat. I will eat like a popper the rest of the week. I'll eat, pork pot roast 3 nights in a row just to make sure that that I can have a little ribeye. I won't bore and scare people with the details, but I got a little situation where any red meat more than once a week is just it can't happen. So I figure if I'm going to have red meat, I'm going to make it the best red meat that I can have, and I'm going to enjoy it. And so Friday nights here are ribeye night, where I cook the ribeye, I have a nice glass of wine, and I enjoy the Friday evening with Kelly. I cook her ribeye every Friday as well.
It doesn't get much better than that, I'll tell you.
Can't beat it, right?
Can't beat it.
So, Joe, I got to run, man. I'm enjoying it, but today is a day of efficiency and focus, so I can't dilly around with you, man. It's just got to.
Do you have days that are not like that, Adam?
I think. I don't know. They certainly happen. I might not plan them, but they do happen.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for the chat. Thanks for this morning. Always great to wake up with you on a Thursday morning. Yeah. If you're in the area of Tinley, go and check out Tinley this weekend. It's going to be great. Or even if you're not, think about getting a little flight up there and enjoying yourselves. Thanks, everybody.
Just quick shot right into O'Hare, a little Uber down to Tinley. We'll be there. Everybody travel safe. It's a long way for a lot of you. Don't get too stupid at Tinley. Remember, you're representing your brand, and go do some big business, make connections, meet people. Come say hi. You don't have to buy anything, but come say hi, come hang out. Joe, you got to come up one time. I don't know what it's going to take to twist your arm to come to Tinley to Chicago, but you should be there, man.
Okay. All right. Twice a year, right?
Yeah, you get 2 options a year, man.
Okay. All right.
All right, brother. Have fun. I will see you next week.
All right. Take it easy, everybody.
You know what? I tried to hit end stream. They changed the buttons, man. I got to learn these buttons. Let's try this again. Joe, take care, man. I'll see you next week, man.
All right. Have a great week, everybody.